guy, but get the most out of him on maybe big plays, being an explosive play threat.
Yeah, he needs to be a gasser, and we talked about it last segment. The deep over routes, let him run that slot and from the slot, and let him just outrun whoever the corner is, the defender, and Cam hits him on as soon as he crosses that opposite hash mark. That's one. I think running vertical routes from the slot. Honestly, one of the things I used to love with the Eagles, Andy Reid used to do it all the time, where he would line Deshaun Jackson up. And no, I am not saying Chim DK is in the same class as Deshaun Jackson, because there aren't many. I'm just saying use him similarly. Line him up. You run twins, right, and let him be number one on the outside, number one, and then you motion him to just inside the number two's hip,
Yeah,
and then you just run a quick slant. And you let him catch it and get upfield. And you find ways like that to – and it was pretty cool what they used to do. Like, they used to pull the guard, the right guard. Like, the slants on the right side, they'll have him run the slant, pull the right guard, and have the right guard go,
lead
release upfield. Now, of course, that's after the ball is
right.
thrown.
Yeah,
you can't
yeah.
get an illegal man downfield. But they would have him like that would be his job to go upfield. So it was pretty cool watching, the way that they use Deshaun Jackson, the guy that's just so dynamic with the ball. Jim DK, to a lesser degree, is a very dynamic ball carrier, so you could do stuff like that, jet sweeps. And even, jet sweeps, like fake the jet sweep and hand it off, counter to whoever is in the backfield also. And then, you could fake the jet sweep and then boot pass to that side that he went in the motion from.
Yeah.
There's so many things that you could do when you have a threat like that, but the key is establishing that threat early.
Right. And that's why I think he's in such a better role for his game, where last year, towards the end of the year, him and Alec Guyman were basically asked to be wide receivers 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Unless you wanted to qualify Van Jefferson as that guy. But that was basically it. Now, Brian Dable is going to be able to pick and choose his spots where he thinks Chim DK can help this offense. And I equate it like Khalif Raymond back when the Titans offense was rolling.
Man, that play action, him on that post route.
Right. Like, he wasn't a guy who was going to be on the field more than 25 snaps a game, maybe 30. But when he went out there, he was a threat because of that speed, the dynamic ability, and he brought something different than what you had with A.J. Brown or Julio Jones. Or I guess it wasn't Julio. It was Corey Davis that year.
Davis, yeah.
So I really like what Chim DK can bring to this offense, not being asked to be a number 1 or number 2 wide receiver. He can be your returner and a threat when he's given the opportunity.
They're settling more into the roles that are appropriate for them.
With Alec Guyman, this is an interesting year for him, because we saw flashes last year. There were moments where you're like, man, that doesn't look like a 4th round pick. And I know Titans fans were excited when they picked him because of the size and the speed that he showed when he was at Stanford. And, you can look back to the game against Travis Hunter that was in 2023, where he just lit him up all game long for 200 something yards and 3 touchdowns. But it wasn't consistent enough.
There it is.
And you've now slotted him further down the depth chart. And it's not like with Chim DK where you look and you say, yeah, there's a defined role that he can play in this offense. How do you think Alec Guyman is used more than just being a depth piece this year in this Brian Dable offense?
Well, the thing I like about Guyman is he could play both the X and the Z. I wouldn't necessarily put him in the slot much, but
yeah,
I think he's all the mid-range stuff. You know what I mean? Those deep in-breaking routes where he could learn to use his body to get position, and catch the football. The back shoulders, you saw Parker saw it, when they went back shoulder like 3 times in practice. What's your guy's name?
Key Drain.
My mic wasn't working for a second. Key Drain Callaghan, baby.
Yeah, I just like to give him a chance to say his name.
Terry's more enthusiastic about him than I am.
Yeah. Terry always likes the name. He used to like Kendall Vildor. But anyway, I think when you look at that, there's opportunities to go back shoulder and get those types of plays. He's a guy he's a contested catch specialist, but he has to get more consistent and get more of that killer instinct in him, and I think we kind of saw a little bit of that in OTAs and minicamp. Like, he didn't make a lot of plays, so to speak, but you saw him running his routes with a lot more authority, not leaning, but just like his body positioning, which was something that he said that he wanted to work on. His body composition is different too. Like, he is a much better put together athlete. Not that he ever wasn't well put together, but he looks good out there, and you see him running the routes with more of a sense of urgency and things like that. So it's been cool. I posted a few videos of him the last couple practices, and Chris Sanders was weighing in and was like, hey, that's what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's nice for us to be able to have these conversations in July about 4 and 5 deep in the wide receiver room and feeling like there's roles for these guys and they can develop. So Cam Ward not going to have any shortage of weapons this year with those 5 wide receivers and beyond into Gunnar Helm. And we can talk about the running backs a little bit on the other side because Tony Pollard coming off a 4th straight 1,000-yard season. But Tajay Spears, if he's healthy, obviously can bring a different dynamic there. You draft Nick Singleton as well. So we can talk about what they might bring in a Brian Dable offense coming up next. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. The Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix is coming to the Nashville Super Speedway Saturday, July 18th and Sunday, July 19th. And 1025 The Game has your chance to win tickets to the IndyCar race. Text in the keyword RACE, RACE now to 615-737-1025 to enter to win tickets. For more information on the event, you can visit musiccitygp.com. Jake Lyman, Turron Davenport, Parker Kelley, next man up, 1025 The Game.
I'll make love to you. You want me to.
It is a Freaky Friday here on Next Man Up.
Yeah.
Parker going with the slow jams only on this Friday.
Can't go wrong with little boys and men.
We got the rain pouring down outside.
Man, listen.
Do we need to like dim the lights?
Man, the young TD was. We just gonna leave it alone.
I think we started off pretty strong.
Yeah, that's what. Well done, Parker. I think that's exactly what TD was looking for with Freaky Friday.
You play a little Tony. I might take my shirt off, man.
We're going tarps off out here.
You just had me do some push-ups, so you know.
Yeah, there you go. I might have to go in and use Parker's mic then. TD, if TD starts taking clothes off in here.
Yeah, right. I'm just playing.
We're talking Titans here. Your chance to talk to TD is coming up in about 30 minutes. If you got any questions for Turron Davenport, get them in 615-737-1025. We'll try and get to all of them. All of our football offseason coverage on 1025 The Game is presented by Tennessee Brewworks. Raise the glass with Tennessee Brewworks and Parman Tractor and Equipment, providing totally outrageous customer service. Visit parmantractor.com. We're going through the offense for the Titans, how it might look different with Brian Daboll. Went through all the receivers, the running back room. Mm-hmm. I think there's I just don't know what to think about this group. Robert Saleh did say Spears and Pollard are the bell cows. I really want to see Tyjae Spears stay healthy because last year he sprained his ankle on the first touch that he had in preseason against the Buccaneers. I mean, when you get an injury that early that knocks you out for the first month or so, 2 months of the season, like you really, it hamstrings you the rest of the year, for lack of a better term. And so I'd like to see him stay healthy because he can be a weapon in the open field when he gets the opportunity. You've just got to be out on the field to be able to do it.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. You got to be on the field to be able to do it. And unfortunately, that's been an ongoing issue with Tyjae. He's so talented, but you just got to get him out there to take advantage of it. And you hate to see it because up until that point, like he was looking very dynamic, very electric, and very alive, like bouncy and everything. And you're seeing that this year, you know, so far, OTAs and minicamp. Naturally, guys are going to look faster anyway. You know, you're in shorts and T-shirts, but still, I think he's someone that is, as you say, a wild card to this running back room, you know, and this is a contract year for him. And, you know, obviously he's going to say what everybody says. I'm not thinking of, yes, you are. You're thinking about it. Like you want to go and ball out and secure yourself. So it's a big year for him.
And I'm looking at the Giant stats from the last couple of years. The running backs close to 90 targets out of the backfield the last few years. So it's like Brian Daboll does like to use the running backs out of the backfield. And Tony Pollard can do it, but he's definitely not the playmaking threat that Tyjae Spears is when he gets into open space. Right. So I'd like to see him get healthy. And then we don't really know much about what Nick Singleton is going to be. He had a great season in 2023 or 2024 with Penn State. Last year wasn't quite as good. He lost his starting job to Katron Allen. And then you look forward to this year. He's coming off the injury behind Spears and Pollard. I'm interested to see what training camp looks like for Nick Singleton once he finally gets healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been working. Well, he was working for the first part of OTAs and into minicamp with my guy, Brent Callaway, he's one of the best.
Yep.
Zach Woodfin, and actually he's speaking. They have a summit that he's speaking at in a week. It's here in Nashville. It's a training, strength and conditioning summit that he's speaking at. But yeah, I mean, this guy is like, he's legit. And so he's been working with Singleton. He also was working with Ridley as well. But I say all that to say, if they could get him healthy, you know, he's a home run threat, a dynamic part of the offense as well, and he's someone that actually is a better pass catcher than he's been able to show, and that's something that he's spoken about, wanting to be able to showcase. And then, you know, the other thing, he's one of those guys, and as rookie running backs, you always say, okay, are they going to be willing to put their nose in there and take on a blitzing linebacker?
Yeah, that is true.
He's someone that you know is willing to do that, and he's not small. Like this dude,
no, he's a big guy.
220, 222, something like that. And he's, you know, running a 4.3, so he got the speed too. He's someone that they need to get into the offense.
Yeah, 6'2", 220
See?
for Nick Singleton.
See?
Yeah, it's a big back. And I think just as we go through this offense, it's like, man, in terms of weapons and playmakers, this might be the best group the Titans have had in a few years here. Those wide receivers, the 5 that we talked about. The running back room is deep, even if it doesn't have a superstar in it anymore. The tight end room with Gunnar Helm and Daniel Bellinger. The big question is just, can the offensive line hold up? Are they going to give the running backs, are they going to be able to open holes for them? Are they going to protect Cam Ward? That's the big question with this offense that's going to have to be figured out.
And that's the thing, man. And you hate to have any question marks on the offensive line, but when you have 2/3 of the guard, center, guard trio as question marks, like, that's something that you have to be concerned about.
Yep.
You have to. You know what I mean? And you don't just brush it away and say, oh, they'll find somebody. They need to figure that out.
Yeah.
Soon. Because the offensive line is a position that, that's one of the most dependent on groupthink, right?
Yeah.
The synergy side of things. So to not have that right and set and not give those guys time to be able to work off each other and just understand each other. But I mean, it's no different than the Cam Ward and Wan'Dale Robinson connection that you need.
Yeah.
You need to have, because look, he's not going to be able to throw the football to Wan'Dale Robinson if Josh Hines Allen is in his face in 2 seconds. So they got to get that fixed.
Yeah, and we talked about the 2016 Titans season on Monday, where they turned it around. They went from a team that won 5 games in 2 years and became a 9-win team in one offseason.
Yeah.
And the big differences were you signed a veteran center in Ben Jones and you drafted a stalwart. He became an all-pro right tackle in Jack Conklin.
Yeah.
You didn't address the offensive line this offseason, at least not in a meaningful way. Your weapons are definitely better. We just went through that whole group. It's pretty good based on what you've had the last few years, but the offensive line is going to continue to be a question mark until it's not. You have to see that it's not going to be a problem.
It's going to continue to be a question. Now, look, Jackson Slater, Cadell Volson, later on, Fernando Carmona. Is it Fernando or Francisco?
Fernando.
Fernando, yeah. That's going to be a battle that to watch. I said it this morning. Andre James, he has more starts at center than any other
Sloatman,
center on that roster.
Yep.
Right? And I know it's a late addition, but that guy could come in and take somebody's job.
Yep.
Now, obviously, they're not going to keep 3 centers, so curious what they'll do there. Like if maybe Sloatman bumps the guard, if James were to, I don't know.
Right.
But it's one of, okay, you have 3 options
at center and right guard. Yeah.
But like none of the, it's like being able to go to the garage, right? Okay, so you got a Camaro, you got a Mustang, and you got I don't know, another car.
Yeah.
Right? But you don't have that, and you need to drive on the off-road. You don't have that F-150.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you have 3, and that's great.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily
have
a definitive version of what you need.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit of an issue.
Well, and the problem is too of like, yeah, you've got 3 guys at both of those spots that I don't think the rookies are going to challenge to start this year with Coogan and Carmona.
Yeah.
But you spent a draft pick on them. You don't want to just cast them aside. You don't want to cut Coogan. You don't want to cut Carmona. But then it's like, do you feel good about going into the season with your center and right guard being, if it's Sloatman and Coogan, Slater and Carmona? It's like, do you feel good about the depth or the high-end talent there?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of decisions that are going to have to be made as we get through camp on the offensive line. Again, we don't know. Maybe this offensive line, maybe they know something that we don't. And for some reason, Austin Sloatman has been hiding behind John Michael Schmitz the last couple years in New York, and Brian Dable and Carmen Brasillo. They didn't want to start him there, but he's going to be the starter here, and he's going to be great. Maybe that's the case.
Well, they don't have John Michael Schmitz here, so they got to go with the next.
I mean, I just that's what I thought was so funny about the strategy. It's like, well, he wasn't good enough to start for us in New York, but he's good enough to be our starter here in Tennessee. Yeah. That's why I think like you said, Andre James has a very decent chance to go up and take this job, because You've got a longtime journeyman backup and a 6th-round rookie in that room right now. It's
Yeah.
not like anyone has a stranglehold on it.
It's definitely his agent was smart to get him in here. I'll tell you that much.
Yes, he was. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Dustin on the YouTube chat says, man, we need an F-250 or 350, and we've got Hondas right now. Yeah, the Honda Accord. Nick Westbrook-Akina, could he come play guard?
It's up the street in Indianapolis.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Coming off his 70-yard season down in Miami.
Damn.
I love NWI, but I thought it was so funny. Everybody was so upset that he left last year. I was like, you can find an NWI.
You're talking about canceling Christmas and everything, boy.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. We'll flip to the other side of the ball coming up next. Jeffrey Simmons named the 2nd best defensive tackle in the league yesterday, after being named the 83rd best player in the league last week. We'll get TD's thoughts on that. He had an article come out yesterday about how Robert Saleh is going to use Jeffrey Simmons. You can read that at ESPN.com. We'll talk about that coming up next. And again, your chance to talk to TD is coming up at 10. Get any questions in at 615-737-1025. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Jake Lyman, Turron Davenport, Parker Kelley. Next man up, 1025 The Game.
Ooh. Hey, Parker, chill out, man.
And this is from 50 Shades of Grey.
That's why I told you to chill out.
Parker, doing well with Freaky Friday so far.
You asked for Freaky Friday.
Hey,
You are delivering.
This is some theme music to Freaky Friday right here.
Yeah, that is true.
Woo.
Maybe this should have been the first song I played.
Man. Hey,
Yeah.
listen. You guys, don't play that at home. Because you know what's going to happen. A month from now, you're going to be talking about, hey, TD, I got one on the way.
Oh, God. Don't speak that into existence yet.
I'm not ready for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do not. Yeah.
Woo.
The weekend is banned from our household.
This movie is banned from our household.
Yeah. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. If you got any questions for TD, talk to TD coming up in the next segment. So get those in 615-737-1025. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at 1025 The Game for live shows and exclusive content and chat with us there. TD, the top 10 list coming out at ESPN yesterday, interior defensive lineman. We thought Jeffrey Simmons might be number one. He is number two behind Big Cat Leonard Williams. The Jeremy Fowler's article does say that it was close voting. He was very close to getting the number one spot. But your thoughts on that initially of Jeffrey Simmons? He does move up 2 spots to number 2, but still not taking the top spot.
Hey, much respect to Leonard Williams. You know what I mean? Much respect to him. You can't take away from what he's been able to do. And he gets the Super Bowl premium. That being said, he's not better than Jeffrey Simmons. Come on, man. Well, what did Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, say? Child, please. He's not better than Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons is unquestionably the best interior defensive lineman in the league. I don't think there's a conversation to be had. He is Chris Jones is still a damn good pass rusher. But
yeah, he was fourth. It was Jalen Carter 3.
Yeah. I venture to say he's the best pass rusher out of the interior. Yeah, I would say that. He's right there with everybody in run defense.
Well, yeah, he led the interior defensive lineman in sacks and tackles for loss last year.
Yeah,
he had the second highest pass rush win rate despite facing double teams 65% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like the big question I have, and I said this yesterday, and you could say this for Leonard Williams too. Both of them, somebody voted them 8th.
Yeah. Their voting privileges need to be revoked.
Well, these are all people working in football. These are coaches, executives, and scouts. If you watched what Jeffrey Simmons did last year and thought he was the 8th best interior defensive lineman in the league, how are you working in sports?
Yeah, it was probably somebody that they don't like him. There's something wrong.
Right. I don't understand that. It is mind-boggling. And again, this isn't just for Simmons. Leonard Williams had somebody vote him 8th too, which I think is crazy. I don't understand how that happens.
You always have outliers that see things, but you cannot seven D tackles better than either of those guys.
Right.
Come on, man. I can't go for that. Chris Jones still has to be in there. I tell you, one of the guys that I was really high on, injuries kind of messed him up. Nnamdi Madubuike.
Yeah.
He just kind of fell off. Yeah, but you can't tell me. I thought Dexter Lawrence was low in that. I think he was like 4th or 5th.
Yeah, let's see.
Quinnen Williams was
Dexter Lawrence actually fell at 7th.
7th. Yeah, and Quinnen Williams was below that, right? Oh no, he was 5th.
Quinnen Williams was 6th.
6th. Okay.
So, yeah, Dexter Lawrence fell to 7th. He only had half a sack last year, which, again, sack's not everything for defensive tackles.
Yeah.
Quinnen Williams was 6th. Derek Brown from the Panthers, 5th.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Jalen Carter's up there, right?
Jalen Carter was 3. Yes.
That's a big joke. Man.
Yeah.
And moving the way he does.
Yeah, he's
he and Davis, they
Davis
got their version.
10.
Is Davis in there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny with the Eagles. They had 2 on the top 10 corners and now 2 on the top 10 defensive tackles.
And that's what I was saying earlier, a little bit off topic, but they were asking about Carnell Tate and getting off to a hot start. I'm like, he's going to need to get off to a hot start against the Jets.
Yeah.
Because Quinyon Mitchell does not want to be played with.
And even if they don't follow Carnell Tate, you got Cooper DeJean on the other side or possibly in the slot. Yeah, 9712 says nobody watches the Titans outside of Nashville. This isn't a fan vote, though.
No,
These are coaches, executives, and scouts who should know what Jeffrey Simmons is. Like, I understand if this was a popularity contest, Pro Bowl voting or something like that. Sure, you can understand that maybe people aren't paying attention to the Titans. These people work in the league. They should know. They should know that there are not 7 defensive tackles better than Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah, there's not 7. Now, if you go with other talents, like Jordan Davis could sing.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll put him above Jeffrey Simmons, but we're not talking about rushing the quarterback and tackling the line, running back in the backfield.
Yeah.
That's not a competition.
Well, you wrote an article, came out yesterday morning about what Robert Saleh's defense can do for Jeffrey Simmons. Check it out on ESPN.com. And I really do think, as I read through this, that him playing less is going to make him more effective. Now, maybe some of the counting stats aren't going to be as high, but as Robert Saleh said, is the whole point of the rotation is to make sure that Jeffrey Simmons is ready for that one-on-one when we need it. When you're late in the game and you need a play, Jeffrey Simmons, having played 60% of the snaps or 65 instead of the 81 that he played last year, is going to be fresher than those offensive linemen who have been out there for 70 snaps at that point.
Yeah, and you know what, though? I like, and I don't know if Saleh is doing this on purpose or not, but it's challenging him. You know what I mean? Hey, if he could go 50 or 60 snaps, he's not doing something right. And he's like, nobody is supposed to go more than 4 or 5 reps in a row.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not going to question whether he's challenged, because he is challenged. Because Jeffrey Simmons feels challenged. Because if you remember when he spoke, he was like, I want to show him I could do more, and I want to be in the best shape of my life. So it's a nice, subtle way of challenging your star player to push it a little bit more. And when you have one thing I would say about Simmons is his presence, it pushes others. Talking to T Sweat, you know what I mean, when he was here, talking to Arden Key, it even, like, people don't really realize it, but Simmons and JC Latham have a little, there's something going on. Like, I'm not gonna say like a battle, but Jeff
pushing each other.
He wants to push him.
Yeah.
But when you could challenge your leader, who in turn is going to challenge others, like that's a chess. Robert said his dad told him how to play chess when he was little. So he's making a nice little chess move there. That's a good move. Yeah.
No, I'm excited to see what Jeffrey Simmons can do in this new scheme, and also having a running mate next to him like John Franklin Myers. I was a little surprised not to see him even getting votes on this list. We kind of justified it with maybe people view him as a tweener and don't know whether to put him at edge or defensive tackle.
I can see that.
And so that maybe that's why he lacked the votes. But I was a little surprised that he didn't at least get one vote on this.
And I tell you one thing, I can't wait. And I as we get into training camp, I'm going to ask about that a little bit more. The freedom to run stunts and twists and things like that. I know when Danico Autry was here, like, he and Jeff would look at each other and be like, hey, and then they have their stunt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Franklin Myers is a similar type of player to Danico. I think Danico might be a little bit more powerful, but that's okay, because Franklin Myers still got force as well. So I think, like, I want to see what type of freedom Saleh gives them to be able to, and White Cotton, to be able to, and Gus Bradley, to be able to, do some of the things that they're capable of doing. Because, there were times where they even, like, Jeff would go up to Arden Key and be like, hey, man, let me rush from the outside on this one. You bump inside. And they'll move. I want to see what that freedom is like, under Saleh.
Danico Autry, maybe one of the most underrated Titans of at least like the most recent era. I feel like he doesn't get his flowers enough for how good he was when he was here. Obviously, A.J. Brown leaving, Derrick Henry leaving, your quarterback situation, whole lot of reasons the Titans have gone downhill. But I do think losing Danico Autry played a big role in the run game, the run defense taking a step backwards, and the defense as a whole not being quite as good. He was just so consistent. It's you could count on him to go make plays every single Sunday. Shout out to Danico Autry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at his numbers, right? He got here 21, 9 sacks, 22, 8 sacks, 23, 11 and a half, right? And I think you look at how Simmons grew
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that they were running mates. They were partners, so Autry, I don't think he's on a team now, but that's a guy that, yeah, absolutely. If Franklin Myers could have a similar type of impact as far as like being a running mate, they're going to be in really good shape. But in this case, Howard Landry coming off the edge too helps. So who's going to emerge as that guy off the edge? Is it going to be Jermaine Johnson? Is it going to be Femi? Well, we'll see. But I tell you, I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face. Jacob Martin.
Yeah, I know you've been on Jacob Martin, and I agree with you.
That dude go ahead.
He's a different type of player than what the Titans had previously.
His get off is outstanding, and then he has a nice Euro step that he hits him with too. I was watching him work on that in practice, and he's actually going to be a really good influence for Keldrick Falk, and for I almost said Jackie Slater, Jackie Marshall, because watching and Tanzel Smart too. Really good coach, assistant D-line coach. But I watched them before practice work with those two young players, the two rookies, and you could just see them absorbing and getting more comfortable. And the thing that I loved is I remember the one day, it was a Tuesday in OTAs. No, minicamp, excuse me. The final day of minicamp. Martin was working with them. Right. And he was showing them a couple of things as far as like with the hands. And he's like, hey, just relax, just be comfortable. Just do you, like, don't be so. And you saw him start to like get a little more swift. And then he showed him how to like do the hands and then turn. And sure enough, what did Keldrick Falk do in team period? That move, it got a sack.
Love it.
Yeah.
That the defensive line group, I think you have to be confident about what they have personnel-wise, but also you mentioned Tanzel Smart, Aaron White-Cotton. What does he say he wants to coach like a deranged raccoon?
Yeah.
I think that's the one group that I'm just like, all right, if the Titans are going to be good at one thing this year, it's going to be on the defensive front.
D-line, yeah.
That looks good with the depth there. You mentioned Denico Autry not on a team. There's only one spot that he can go, right? He's got to finish his tour of the AFC South.
Oh, Jacksonville.
Yeah, he's got to go to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to see him in Jacksonville. They've already got some good pass rushers there, but he's got to get all the infinity stones of the AFC South. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. It is now your chance to talk to TD. Get your questions in. We've already got some good ones on the text line. 615-737-1025. Anything you have for TD, we will get to it coming up next. Jake Lyman, Turron Davenport, Parker Kelley. Next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5, The Game. Jake Lyman, Turron Davenport, Parker Kelley with you, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Second hour, we got TD till 11. And it's now time to talk to TD. Any questions you have, send them in. 615-737-1025. Text or call. We'll try and get to all of you over the next 30 minutes. Our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Let's start with 3337. And this is kind of similar to what we talked about in the last hour about the offensive line. TD, he's asking you to ask Borgonza or Sala at the next press conference why they are neglecting the offensive line. You know that they know better. This team has a lot of potential, but potential could get everyone fired. I guess the question would be, why do you think the Titans have not prioritized making more moves on the offensive line or didn't do so during the free agency period?
Well, it's always easy to say, hey, make the moves, but I would counter with what moves do you make? Like, do you break the bank for
Linderbaum?
Right. Like,
I mean, I think it makes it worse knowing that you still have $60 million in cap space just sitting around. And it's like, man, I understand that that's a big contract, and maybe some of the other centers out there, Fortner or Mays or some of the other starters, maybe they got more money than you were willing to give. But when you look back now and you're like, man, you got $60 million in cap space just lying around, and you've got holes at center and right guard. I think that's why people are wondering why the Titans didn't overpay a little bit just to make sure they found a solution there.
And I get it. Like maybe a Tyler Biadasz,
Yeah, right.
Something like that. I tell you the move Illuminor. I thought that was going to be one that they would look at. But, I mean, again, you sign him. Like, what does he play?
Yeah, like is he your right guard, or would he be your swing tackle? Because he's been the right tackle in New York.
Right, and that's what I mean. Do you pay like $25 million for a swing
tackle? Probably not.
Don't. I tell you, a guy that I would have looked at is Isaac Seumalo. I was in Philly when they drafted him, and I would, and he went to Pittsburgh. I would have absolutely looked at signing him. So I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like they could have made some moves. Elton Jenkins.
Yeah,
they could have made some moves, but I just wonder. Look, I'm just looking through this.
Could there be more moves coming? We don't know. Like Zeitler is still out there. I think that is on the back burner. Like we haven't talked about him very much lately. I continue to pound the table for a swing tackle upgrade over Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon or Austin Deculus. I think you need somebody else there, but there's still time.
They like Crenshaw-Dixon. They really, really like him. And Gentry Estes, he told me from the Tennessean, he told me he ran into Arden Key, and he was talking to Arden Key. They were in the airport.
Yeah.
And he said that, just in conversation, he's like, hey, man, who's the one guy that I need to watch out for that nobody's talking about? Arden Key, without hesitation, said, oh, Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon. He said, that guy's all right. He was one of the toughest I went against in practice. That's what he said. That's one man's
right, yeah,
opinion,
but I guess that.
I mean, I think he could play the swing tackle position. I think he'll be fine there. Deculus, well, we know the struggles that he's had in the past, but my thing is, if you weren't going to sign Linderbaum, I understand that. But again, like you look at your Tyler Biadasz.
Yeah.
Why not? To me, because of how important the center position has gotten, I think they needed to make a big signing there.
Yeah.
Right. And a big $30 million is a big signing, guaranteed money. You know what I mean? So I think when you look at him, 3 years, 30 million for Biadasz. He had 20 guaranteed. That's a deal.
Right. That's a starting center deal.
Yeah.
And the Sloatman deal is what, 2 years, $7 million, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's a deal for a backup type.
Yeah, you pick like Andre.
$3 million guaranteed.
Andre James gets picked up at the tail end of minicamp. So you didn't add anybody who is expected to be a starting center in the league this year. So
it also takes two to tango, though. How do we know Biadasz was interested in coming?
Right.
How do we know he didn't want to go, be with the Chargers? So there's a lot to it. It's always easy to stand on this side of things and be like, hey, man, you should have signed.
Right.
There's more to it than just just that.
Yeah, I mean, why am I blanking? The assistant GM, former Raiders
Oh,
GM.
Ziegler.
Yeah, Dave Ziegler, when he
Yeah.
did his press conference post the draft, he made that interesting comment about free agency. You can go after these guys, but they have to say yes too, and money's involved, and like it's not like the draft where you pick a guy, he's on your team.
Yeah.
So that kind of hinted to me that they made some offers for some offensive linemen and maybe didn't catch the fish that they were looking for.
Yeah. Good Lord. I'm looking at guaranteed money. Austin Deculus, his guaranteed money is $25K. Man, just let me put my face out and slap it. That's how I would feel. They guarantee me
$25,000. He's a veteran, what, like 3-4 years in the league? Yeah. Again, it's Talk to TD, 615-737-1025. Get your questions in for Turron. Here's a good one. Trevor asks, does Brandon Ayuk play again in the NFL? It seems like there's a new crazy video daily. If I'm an NFL team, why would I touch him?
I think he's going to play. He's just too talented not to, but I wouldn't want that in my locker room.
Right.
Like, come on, man. You've been making comments about your prospective quarterback's mom.
Yeah.
Come on. That's crazy. Now, it's one thing if we're home, real talk, though, even with my homies, I wouldn't even, no. What are you doing? Like, why are you? He's just too much of I don't like to use the word distraction. He's too much of why do you want that energy? There it is.
Yeah.
That energy is not energy that I would want around me.
Right.
Especially in a locker room where it's so intimate, it's so close, and we're together all the time. Man, miss me with that energy.
Right. We talked about this earlier this week of Antonio Brown kept getting chances because he was Antonio Brown. He was one of, if not the best wide receiver in the league for years there. And so doing similar things that Brandon Ayuk is doing right now, going on social media, bashing teammates. And they kept giving him chances, whether it was the Raiders or the Patriots or the Buccaneers, because this is an elite receiver when he's right. Ayuk has one good season.
Right. One good season.
And it's I don't know if teams are going to be lining up to add him to their team, given that he hasn't played a full year of football in 3 years.
I wouldn't. Somebody's going to sign him, but he's cost himself a boatload of money.
Yeah. They voided his guarantees. He's still under contract. I don't know how this resolves itself. Did the 49ers just cut him and cut their losses and say, if somebody else wants to take him, good luck?
Yeah, that's what I would just man, let me just remove this situation from myself. You know what I mean? It's terrible.
I guess George Kittle said in an interview, have fun with that.
Yeah.
It was that Bussin' with the Boys.
I don't remember what interview, but I did see.
Yeah. The stories of last year of him speeding by the 49ers facility at 100 miles an hour, and now all the videos of I'm going to be a Commander soon, even though there doesn't seem to be any truth to that. It's all very strange.
Very strange. Very strange. And there's something George Kittle, he
calls it like it is
himself.
Yeah.
So for him to be like, hey man, good luck with that lets you know.
Quick tangent. George Kittle, when he did go on Bussin' with the Boys, said that last year he spent more time with Robert Saleh than he had in the previous stint there. Yeah. And he was saying that he believes Saleh is going to be a great head coach moving forward now that he's gotten another chance. So again, just one man's word, but from somebody who spent a lot of time with Robert Saleh over the last few years, I think it's at least good to hear.
Yeah, no, it's definitely good to hear. And anything, when you're talking about this Titans team, anything positive is good to hear because this has just been so much dog mess.
Right. I'm sure that if we look back, there are plenty of interviews of, Brian Callahan's going to be a great head coach. So it's you can't just take people at their word of endorsing these people. But
I thought he was going to be really good.
I think everybody did. The hire wasn't the problem. It was just he didn't end up being a good coach, right? I don't fault the Titans for hiring him because by all accounts around the NFL, he was a good candidate. There were the
Bengals offense.
The Panthers were waiting for him to get out of the Titans facility so they could hopefully hire him. So again, I take what George Kittle says and I'm like, yeah, that's good. But and obviously it's just one person endorsing Robert Saleh. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Sonny with a related question to the Ayuk saga says, does how the Antonio Brown saga ended and with it not being that long ago hurt Brandon Ayuk still fresh in a lot of teams' mind of how bad it can get? Yeah, I mean, that image of Antonio Brown running shirtless off the field in New York might be burned in some teams' brains.
But, each situation is unique. You know what I mean? But both of which are messed up. You know what I'm saying? So for me, and I can only speak for myself, it wouldn't take watching what happened with Antonio Brown to make me like, I don't need this energy in my stratosphere. You know what I'm saying? Get that out of my rotation. I don't need it,
I agree with that. I think Ayuk has dug himself into a big hole. It's not impossible that he plays again in the NFL, but I would say at this point, I seriously doubt he's going to play for anybody this year.
Not likely.
615-737-1025. Any more questions for T? Get them in now. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll get some more on the other side. Jake Lyman, Turron Davenport, Parker Kelley, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Turron Davenport. Parker Kelley.
You can't go wrong with a little Prince. Now, I probably would have played Diamond and Pearls, but this is acceptable.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's good. I don't know if it fits the Freaky Friday that we've had
See,
lately,
I
but
thought about going Insatiable.
No, we'd have got
yeah,
got kicked out. Man.
So yeah, TD has said that one doesn't fly over the air.
Nah, there's not enough beeps to. You just hear the whole thing would just be a beep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, can't hit the dump button fast enough there.
No.
It is your chance to talk to TD. Any questions you have, send them in 615-737-1025. We've got a Mets question here from our resident Mets fan 4312. He says, TD, what is all this smoke I'm hearing about Lindor and Soto having issues and Lindor maybe getting traded?
You know what's crazy? Apparently there's a split in the locker room. And the locker room has spoken.
It would make sense, right?
They like Soto more than Lindor.
Really?
Everybody, they say Lindor is fake. They say he thinks he's better. He doesn't really mix with the team well. Now, mind you, he had the squabble with Jeff McNeil twice.
Yeah.
Then apparently he had one with Brandon Nimmo too. And you notice both of those guys are what? Traded. I just, it's a shame because Francis, that's my favorite Met.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Edwin Diaz was, but then he broke my heart.
Yeah.
Went to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But it's very, now I don't know about him being traded. I know I was sick yesterday, man. Like that might have been my last Mets game this year. And Frankie didn't play.
Oh.
Until they brought him in the ninth inning. Defensive replacement. I was so disgusted. But I mean, there's a young his last name is Pena. He was a Dominican kid, $5 million. They were going after the pitcher from Japan, and he ended up going elsewhere.
Yeah.
So they used their money to sign him. He's a shortstop. Yeah, I think he's like 17 or 18. He's a shortstop in their minor league system. So that's someone in the future. And then you still have Ronnie Mauricio.
Yeah.
Who they optioned back, and Bo Bichette played.
Yeah, he played short in Toronto
yesterday. So you do have that. I don't know if they're going to trade him or not. It's just tough, man. It's tough.
I think it's understandable when you have that high of expectations, that much money being spent on your roster, and things aren't going your way. The team struggles, so it's natural for there to be a split in the locker room. It's just disappointing that it's Lindor who's kind of the odd man out there.
Yeah, it is really, really unfortunate because he was like the face of the Mets for a bit.
4312, I apologize. Cardinals fan, but he enjoys baseball talk. Yes, I just remember him talking about his favorite Met a while ago. But yes, Cardinals fan. Here's a fun one. 8388, Devin and Dixon says, TD, what is your all-time favorite sports movie?
Ooh.
There's some great ones. I mean,
you know what?
There's so many that I'm thinking of right now. I don't know if I can pick one.
I got to go with the first one that popped into my mind, and that's The Program.
That's a great one.
I always loved that movie, man. The Program.
Yeah.
Any given Sunday was cool too, but yeah, I probably would have to say The Program, and it was just like so many different. Hey, beer boy, go give me some peanuts. You know what I mean? All types. Yeah, he said, all you have to do is know how to sign an NFL contract. that was Alvin Mack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a great one. First ones that came to my mind, I love Miracle. That's a great movie. Remember the Titans is great. And then, I mean, how can you not be romantic about baseball? Moneyball. If you want
for the stats, guys.
Yeah, Moneyball. Well, it's funny. I always loved the Moneyball when people actually look into that movie, and it's like they highlighted all of the little guys on the team. Hatteberg and him learning to play first base, but like they neglected to actually say that Barry Zito won the Cy Young that year, and Tejada won the MVP that year. Like they had
Tim Hudson on that team.
They
too,
had
right?
superstars on the roster, and
Right.
they completely neglected to bring it up at all.
They did.
In the movie. It's like, oh, we're focusing on Hatterberg deciding to play first base.
Crazy story. Billy Bean, that GM. You know, he almost got picked number 1 instead of Strawberry.
Yes. Yeah.
He ended up going 3rd.
Right. They talk about that in the movie a little bit about his failure as a player.
They showed him.
Yeah.
I remember they showed him like standing in the
right.
on deck circle or something. You're right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, because he was supposed to be a superstar,
Yeah.
and like he was convinced to sign a pro contract instead of going to college, and I think he regretted it. That was kind of his whole thing.
Yeah.
But a couple of people have mentioned some great ones. My favorite when I was a kid, The Sandlot, 100%. I watched that. That was my, like, when you stay home from school, like you wake up, you feel a little sick, you stay home from school. I always watch The Sandlot. That's a great one. 4312 also mentions Major League. That's a great movie. Wild Thing.
I have an underrated one. Have y'all ever seen When the Game Stands Tall?
I have not seen that.
It's about the school out in California, De La Salle, where
really?
I believe Brian Callahan came from.
Yeah, Nick Holtz too. Nick Holtz was a receiver.
Yeah. They went 139-0. It
Yeah.
didn't lose a game in like 10 years or something.
Yeah.
And then they finally lost a game. And it's an incredible story. It's awesome.
I had to check that out.
I might have to watch that one too.
Blue Chips? Anybody for Blue Chips? With Shaq and Penny?
I don't know if I have seen that one.
Yeah, Nick Nolte's in it. Yeah.
How about the program's favorite movie that we watch every year?
Draft Day.
Draft Day.
There are so many good ones.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we could rack our brain and go the rest of the show thinking of movies.
I mean, we just overthought the room. Blindside.
Blindside's
always
good.
Be in
yeah,
there.
Blindside's good. I'm trying to think. I mean, Hoosiers is always a classic. Coach Carter.
I love Coach Carter.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
I love Coach Carter.
The Jackie was like that.
I know.
And to think that he was making movies while he was fighting cancer and you didn't even know it. He actually he was a commencement speaker at Howard University's graduation. That was it wasn't. It was a year after my daughter graduated from Howard.
Yeah. I mean, I love Chadwick Boseman, and I think 42 is my favorite movie of his.
Okay, quick question.
Yeah,
we're just gonna go through the room. One answer, real quick.
Yeah.
If they made a movie about your life, who would play you?
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, Parker, you go.
Chris Evans.
Oh, okay. You're going Captain America.
Yeah, that's easy.
Okay.
I don't even know. Maybe like I'm thinking of like two of the Spider-Man guys, Tobey Maguire, like Tom Holland. Like I feel like that kind of fits I get it. My stature. How about you?
Common.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing. Hey Parker, I tell you one thing. If a woman says I look like Common,
it's a compliment. Oh yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
okay, thank you. You
gotta
go. I'm in a relationship.
You got options because Chris Sanders lets you know who you look like every single week.
Man. Yeah. Well, if somebody played Chris Sanders, it would be Seal. Or Tyrone Hill.
Chris Rock.
Oh man, we get off the rails.
Well, I mean, I knew this question would lead to a whole lot of answers on the text line. Thomas in Nashville says, Thomas on a car phone says, I can't believe neither of you mentioned The Natural or Field of Dreams.
Oh yeah.
I do like The Natural. I'm not a Field of Dreams guy. I've only watched it maybe once or twice. Maybe I need to go back and watch it. That one just isn't one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. Field of Dreams. I remember that.
It's a fine movie. I do like Kevin Costner. Like he's the king of sports movies.
He is.
Bull Durham. That's another good one.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Skylar says Coach Carter and Gridiron Gang.
There's so many.
6806 says, what about The Legend of Bagger Vance? There are some good golf movies. Happy Gilmore. 1880 says Friday Night Lights, the movie. That's a good one. Nevada Josh says, I know TD has seen the basketball movie Sunset Park.
What do you know about that?
He said great movie.
Yeah, Onyx is
I've never seen that
Fredro from Onyx. It's actually a dope movie. It's about a basketball team at Ozone Park in Queens.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. Great answers on this one. There's just so many great sports movies. It's hard to narrow it down. 615-737-1025. Let's go to the phone lines. Taylor is called in. Taylor, thanks for calling. Good morning.
Come on, Taylor. We're throwing you the ball. Catch it.
I think it's Terrence.
Oh.
I think it's Terrence.
Okay.
James.
Sorry,
Oh,
Terrence.
yeah, go
That's on
ahead.
me.
Yeah. What's going on, TD? Hey, I got a question.
What's up?
And this is more so about Cam Ward, maybe in the next press conference you got. So it's very incremental, but I want to know, why did he go from the fitted sleeves to those loose sleeves? I don't like those loose sleeves. I think the fitted sleeves, gives more of a better aesthetic. Like you look at Lamar Jackson, you look at Patrick Mahomes, they all wear the fitted sleeves, right? But he wear those loose. I think it's like the quarterback jersey where it's got I just don't like the way it looks. Like, you know what I mean? So I guess I would want to know, or I guess, maybe in the next press conference, maybe you could set that question in, like, hey, why'd you go from the fitted sleeves to the loose sleeves, when you got to the NFL? I just don't like that aesthetic, but I hang up and listen.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I don't know why he did that. Parker, you might be able to speak on that a little bit more, a little bit better, having been in a situation. Is having like loose sleeves, does that give you more freedom?
I don't like loose sleeves personally. I was always a no sleeves guy, just because I didn't want to have any limited. It's more so a mental thing than anything else. Like I had, coaches gave me like compression sleeves to wear. I just never really liked it. Actually, in high school, my head coach didn't allow me to wear sleeves, even if it was below freezing, because there was a greater risk of fumbling the football if I had sleeves.
Oh,
handling it right.
Yeah. So I was always a no sleeves guy, no matter what.
Yeah, I don't like the aesthetic, as he was saying about the long sleeves. I feel like the only guy who could pull that off was Peyton Manning. Like Peyton Manning was
just as swagless. Like,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, you knew it, and he was just going to go out there and he was going to drop 400 yards and 3 touchdowns on you anyway. But yeah, he always had the long sleeves. I agree. I wish Cam Ward had the fitted sleeves. I think it looks better, but it's all about how it feels. Like,
Yeah. It was always hard to me. John Elway used to do it, where they would have the sleeves and it was like on an angle. You know what I mean? And that used to look so hard, man. John Elway does not get enough pub for being one of the best quarterbacks ever.
Yeah.
I will put John Elway, and my favorite quarterback ever is Warren Moon.
Yeah.
But I would put Elway against any quarterback, and a conversation could be made. Even Brady. I'm not saying outright, but you can't just say, hey, Brady, there's a conversation. There's points that could be made on both sides.
Well, we always have the conversation of it can be most talented player versus most accomplished player. Tom Brady is the most accomplished player in NFL history, and that I would say he is the greatest of all time, because that's what you play the game for. It's to go win Super Bowls. But in terms of talent, John Elway might be one of the most talented throwers of the football we've ever seen. I think you could say the same thing about Aaron Rodgers. He's got the one Super Bowl, but in terms of just pure ability to play the position of quarterback, he might be the most talented that we've seen.
I'll say it. If you talk about somebody the best at doing everything, nobody better than Aaron Rodgers. He could throw a touch. He could throw the deep ball. He could drive that mid-range dig route. He could run. He's smart within the pocket.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, to me, if you go overall ability to do everything, there's no quarterback better ever.
Right.
But I mean, there's so many other things that play into it. You could go so many different ways in that. Because I think, you talk about pure thrower to football. Hey, look, man, Warren Moon and Dan Marino are up there.
Marino.
But if you talk about just ice cold, Joe Montana.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy there in the huddle, and he looks up and says, hey, John Candy's in this.
See, that's John Candy.
What? That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you. All the quarterbacks bring something different to the table, and all of them, they had something that made them great.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're looking at most accomplished versus most talented, I think you can have different conversations about who is the best quarterback.
So many great ones.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. We will get to your phones coming up next. We got 30 more minutes with TD, so if you've got anything else, make sure to text your call, 615-737-1025. Today, the Nashville Sounds take on the Charlotte Knights. First pitch is at 6:04 p.m., and you can catch all of the action on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks, Family Leisure, Maple Street Biscuit Company, and Social Cantina. Jake Lyman, Turron Davenport, Parker Kelley, next man up, 105 The Game.
Ooh.
Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Turron Davenport, Parker Kelley with you on a Freaky Friday.
He said, "Are you even real?" This song is beautiful, man. That's Giveon and Aaron May, man. That's a beautiful song, man.
Parker's done a very nice job with Freaky Friday so far.
That's theme music.
We gave him a new assignment today, and he has passed with flying colors so far. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Let's check in with the phone lines. Nate has called in. Nate, thanks for calling. Good morning.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Nate, what's up with you?
Man, I can't call it. Man, I was just listening to y'all conversation, and like, in my opinion, the only guy that's a consensus greatest at his position is Jerry Rice, man. Any other position is up for grabs, man, and I just want to get y'all opinion on that.
You know what? I think he's right. Nate is right. Like, Jerry Rice, it's hard to say anybody at receiver is better than him. He was breaking tackles.
Yep.
He catch, that joker catch that slant and get vertical and be gone on him. Then the hands, right? And then you look at the ability to catch the deep pass, running reverses, blocking. There was no flaw in Jerry Rice's game. That's a great mention, Nick.
None. Well, I think Deion Sanders too, though. Deion Sanders too.
This is the thing with Deion. It always was the tackling. But the thing
he
was,
didn't have to tackle.
He didn't have to. But the thing was, Deion he'll still take you down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He just not going to blow you up. But that's why a lot of people, especially like Nate, I don't know if you've dealt with people from Pittsburgh or not, but they'll be like, they say like this. They say, Rod the God, Rob Woodson.
Yeah, Rob Woodson was great. Yeah, he was great. But I don't know. That's why I say Jerry Rice to me is the only person that's just a consensus. Like, it ain't even an argument. You know what I mean? But like every other position, like my all-time favorite quarterback was Troy Aikman. I thought it wasn't nobody that was an accurate thrower of the ball than Troy Aikman.
That's
People
the first.
say, well, he had the playmaker, he had this, but if you look at them tapes, well, I mean, I used to watch him, but man, he was super accurate.
That deep in-breaking route to Michael Irvin, it was unstoppable. And then he'll go up top to Alvin Harper on the post. Yeah, he was unstoppable. Don't forget Jay Novacek, man. And you had moves coming out the backfield, and of course Emmett, man. Yeah,
people sleep on Troy Aikman, man.
Yeah, because he didn't put up the major numbers. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he wasn't asked to do. And you see, Troy Aikman is a guy, along with Tom Brady. They're guys that I say it's okay to call a quarterback a game manager.
Yeah,
right?
It's
know
not.
what I mean?
It's not an insult.
They would manage the game for you. Like they're not going to put up. Well, Tom Brady, once he broke out and did 400 all the time, but Aikman was good for like 275 to 300, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and most importantly, a W. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
Exactly.
All right, running back wise. My favorite running back all time is Eric Dickerson. Who you got?
Oh, yeah. No argument there, man.
All right, see?
Yeah.
No argument because, I grew up in the 80s, man. Like, he redefined the position because before him, most guys were short.
Yeah.
He was a big, tall, long dude that was super fast,
There was nothing like seeing those goggles with all the pads on and him running. They scored a touchdown, they take the helmet off, and the Jerry curls just flowing.
Right. Yeah, that was. I always liked Tony Dorsett though. That was my guy growing
Dorsett.
up.
Okay.
Dorsett. Walter Payton. Man, it's been so many guys that were in that rock.
Barry Sanders.
Running back's tough. There's so many, and it's like Emmett's got the most yards, but like.
Yeah, Barry could have broke that.
Right. You can't judge it just purely off stats. So
that
one's tough.
Yeah, there's been so many guys. And what about linebacker? Lawrence Taylor or what? Taylor?
LT for me probably, but Derek Thomas was something special.
Yeah.
I always liked Derek Thomas. Man, there's so many. LT probably would be the one for me. I mean, you got to mention Von Miller. To bring it up to a little more. There's a lot, man. And I mean, you could, there's so many. And then even talking about what kind of linebacker, right? Because
off ball or like LT off the edge, right? Like
off ball, Derek Brooks has to be up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ray Lewis,
Urlacher.
Ray Lewis, absolutely.
Patrick Willis, come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. Put some respect. Kuechly too.
Don't.
Oh.
KB now. Don't forget about KB, man.
KB? You talking about safeties?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about linebacker Keith.
Keith Bullock. Yeah. Mr. Monday Night.
Mr. Monday Night, man. Hey, he was a safety in high school.
He was?
He got to Syracuse. He told me he got to Syracuse. He was a safety. Then they converted.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. To me, he was just as good as that guy that's going into the Hall of Fame from Carolina, man.
Oh, Kuechly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Keith Bullock was right there.
Bullock was up there, man. Always loved his game. Always loved his game. Yeah.
What about who y'all got at safety?
Oh, for me, there is a conversation. There is a conversation. I was going to say no conversation. Ed Reed. Then part of my brain, my brain said, wait a minute now. Ronnie Lott, you got to put up there.
I was about to say Ronnie Lott was my dad's favorite player.
Man.
He's a 49ers fan. I've seen some Ronnie Lott. I do like him too.
You talk about splitting wigs.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
And of course, you got to mention Palomalu.
Palomalu. Yeah.
Man, there's so many, but there's a lot. Paul Krause, a lot of people don't know about him, but he's
Vikings.
from the Vikings.
Yep.
For a while, he was the lead in the interceptions of the safety, man. That's the beauty of this football thing, man. Outside of Jerry Rice, there's so many conversations that could be had.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call, guys.
Yeah,
sure.
appreciate it, Nate. I like that. I mean, it is it is one of those conversations where if you get into position group rankings, there really isn't a clean answer. But I think he's right. Wide receiver is the one where I think you can look and say, yeah, it's Jerry Rice. I was looking through the stats. 100 more receptions, 5,000 more yards, and 40 more touchdowns than anybody else in NFL history. Like, those are records that may never be broken.
Man, Jerry Rice was 42 and routing cats up with the Seattle Seahawks, man. Yeah, man. He was something special. I'm not gonna hold you. He was really, really fun to watch, man. He's not my favorite receiver all the time is Andre Reed.
Yeah.
Closely followed by T.O. and Steve Smith. But Andre Reed, I always love watching him play, man. Like that dude catch the slam, break a tackle, and he would be gone. He'll be gone, man. There's so many. I used to love. I tell you, a player that would have been really good, but the concussions piled up. Al Toon, from the Jets, man. That dude was nice too, man. There's a lot of nice receivers.
Caleb mentions a safety that kind of dealt with injuries. Bob Sanders with the Colts. I used to hate when the Titans would play the Colts as a kid just because of that guy in the secondary. Obviously Peyton Manning and Reggie Wayne and early on Marvin Harrison Sr. too. But yeah, Bob Sanders.
Bob Sanders
was a really good player.
He was a dog.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. New York Doug is texted in. For some reason, he has to mention Jackson Dart in every text. But he also says that Parker, me and you are playing golf against his 12-year-old twins in a scramble.
Okay.
Apparently.
Let's spot the ball.
Let's go. Yeah, put it down. We'll go. We'll take care of business.
I'm ready.
What are you talking about, Jackson Dart?
I don't know. It says North Dallas 40, Jackson Dart.
Listen, I don't care what. Oh, I gotta watch how I say this. I'm really competitive. I don't care how old you are. If we're out there and we're competing, I don't care what your age is.
What's the best part of your golf game, Parker?
I'd say I'm pretty good with my irons.
Okay, perfect. So... I'm good off the tee. So me and you would make a pretty good scramble team.
Let's do it.
There we go. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We've got one more segment with TD. If you have anything else, get it in on our phone and text line 615-737-1025. Jake Lyman, Turron Davenport, Parker Kelley. Next man up. 125 the game.
What you find? Yep.
Next man up, 102.5 The Game. This is, Parker, no one told you to play this, but ending a Freaky Friday with TD with some Keisha Cole.
I hope she never comes to Nashville.
It feels like the only way that we could have done it.
Yeah, that is the only way.
We do have another hour on the show, but TD, this is our last segment with him as he's going down to run a camp down in Atlanta. So do want to get to all of your thoughts for TD. Let's start by going to the phone lines. Matt has called in. Matt, thanks for calling. Good morning.
Hello?
What's up, Matt? What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? Happy Friday, man.
Appreciate it.
I was listening to, I said about the greatest, and I wasn't going to call in, but then TD disappointed me, so I had to call in.
What you got? Come on.
Man, come on. When you say running back, it begins and ends with Barry Sanders.
No, I mentioned Barry Sanders, brother. I said Eric Dickerson was my favorite. But we were running running backs. I said, "Oh yeah, Barry Sanders, you got to mention." Yeah, and I told Jake, I said,
"You
Barry
said
Sanders,
he could have broken the record.
He would have broken Emmett's record.
He came up 3,000 yards short despite playing 5 less seasons, which is crazy."
Yeah,
no, he was. You got to mention Barry.
I heard you mention him, but to me, it begins and ends with him. I know I can't make him your favorite. That's your favorite, but I'm old school, so I go back. I'm 56 years old. I go back to the Juice all the way up to the King Henry. So I done seen them all. So I'm just saying, Barry was just unfair what he did, and to see him in person. I don't know if you ever saw him in person. It was unreal. It was like playing a video game.
I never saw him in person, but I always think of what he did to Rod Woodson, right? Or you could also look at. Remember, he had that Patriots DB. I think it was Otis Smith. I forget who it was.
Yeah.
When he was running on the sideline and he stopped and then cut back and then cut it. Turn him in a circle. Barry, I ain't gonna hold you. Like Barry is the best of I'm 50 years old. You know what I mean? So I saw going back like to Eric Dickerson, Walter Payton. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Barry is the best pure running back of my generation, and I don't think there's a conversation there. But there was just something about Eric Dickerson that I just loved. Just seeing seeing him like hit those home runs. The way he used to hit them, and just the stride in the open field, and then he had the goggles on, and the elbow pads and the wristbands, like all that, man. Eric Dickerson, did you get to interview him?
No, he did. We didn't get him, so I was like disappointed, but also I was like, at least TD didn't miss out on.
Yeah.
I mean, he was incredible, but I when I heard that, I was like, wait a minute.
No,
and then. My man had a good point. Jerry Rice is undisputed, but in my opinion, just my humble opinion, I think Ed Reed's undisputed because Ed Reed did it all. He knocked people out. He returned punts. He got interception. He covered anybody, and he talked his stuff.
I remember that one. Remember when he picked Kevin Cobb off in the end zone and returned that joke with 103 yards? Brian Billick was like, no, get down, get down. Go.
And then the holding penalty.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, man.
And there was no guy, I met him when I went to the Hall of Fame thing when the bus went in because my sister's a personal friend of his wife's.
Okay.
And I met Ed Reed. Ed Reed looks like a guy he could literally be working in the post office somewhere. You know what I'm saying? He's not a big guy.
Yeah,
but to know what he did on the field, incredible. So
absolutely.
I just had to call in. I was like, wait a minute, TD. I didn't even hear what you said, man. I take back everything I just said. I thought about it.
You good, brother. You are good.
Thanks for the call, man.
All right, man.
All right, yeah, have a good one.
Appreciate it. Looking at the all-time rushing yards leaders, Derrick Henry is, as long as he stays healthy, is going to be 6th on this list by the end of this upcoming season.
Really?
Yes. He will pass Eric Dickerson, the boss, Jerome Bettis, LT, and Curtis Martin within the next season if he stays healthy. If he gets a little under 1,100 yards, he would get to 6th. It would probably take 2 seasons for him to get – if he plays 2 more full seasons, there's a decent chance he ends his career as the 3rd highest rusher of all time behind Emmitt Smith and Walter Payton.
Good Lord.
He is less than 3,000 yards away from Frank Gore at 16,000 yards.
Derrick is the truth, man.
Crazy.
Get to see him. What was that, week 4?
4, yeah. There's a decent chance. Actually, he probably will have passed Dickerson by then. But yeah, Derrick Henry already top 10 all time in rushing yards in 9 seasons, 10 seasons. 615-737-1025. Let's go back to the phone lines. Kenny the mailman is called in. Kenny, thanks for calling. Good morning.
Hello, good friends. I want to mention a player. He doesn't have the numbers to be way up there, but he's so underrated. What would happen if every NFL player that put on a jersey played with the desire and intention of Hines Ward?
Ooh.
I loved watching him. There is a former Titan on the air in this market that's happy-go-lucky and nice, but if you mention Hines Ward's name, he does not smile. He told me personally he hit him harder than any lineman ever. If there was ever a fumble or an interception, he picked someone out to take out that he owed something to, and he had this crazed chatter and smile no matter what he did. But I loved watching Hines Ward play, and first of all, he'd be fined out of the league the way the league, the rules are now.
Oh, yeah.
And believe it or not, I'm so old, I actually remember him playing quarterback at the University of Georgia.
Yes, sir. I remember that.
It was not a gimmick. He was really, really good.
Yeah. No doubt about it. That's a great mention. I mean, look, Hines Ward, you look at his numbers, it's nothing to shake your head at. I mean, this guy, 12,083 yards, 85 touchdowns, 1,000 receptions. I mean, yeah, 112 receptions in 02. And you talk about blocking. I don't think there's a better blocking wide receiver than Hines Ward ever. Who was it?
He just fixing to say
he blindsided somebody on the interception.
Thank you, Kenny.
I forget who. That's a great call, great mention, Kenny. Look, 12 touchdowns in 02, 11 in 05, 10 in 03. Like,
he was a really good player.
He was legit.
Growing up outside DC, obviously it was mostly Washington fans, but the second biggest fan base was Steelers fans. So I didn't really like the Steelers growing up, but there was always a respect for Hines Ward. And highlight of his career for me was escaping Bane. Seen The Dark Knight Rises?
Oh yeah,
that's a great reference right there.
Yeah, that's right. He was in that.
He's the only one who was able to get away. He got into the end zone and he stayed alive. Everyone else.
You think darkness is your ally?
No, that's a good pull. Last one here before we let you go, TD. 4312 asks, greatest left tackle of all time. There are a lot of good options here. I think I agree with 4312 on what he says.
I'm going Jonathan Ogden.
Okay, Ogden's a good one
because he had the strength to take on anybody's bull rush, the footwork and speed to work with any outside rush. Let me tell you something. I met him at Super Bowl in 2015 at Cigars with the Stars. It was Mike Ditka and Ron Jaworski. They have a cigar party every Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I met Jonathan Ogden and I shook this guy's hand and I said,
mammoth of a man.
Lord have mercy. Like, he needs to be in those slapping contests. The new sport they have where they slap each other.
Yeah. The power slap.
He and Trent Williams, they'll win that.
He is a massive human being.
Yeah.
4312 says Anthony Munoz, which I think is a good pull.
That's what I would go
with that one.
I'd lean him.
Ogden was a bad man. Now
there are a lot of really good tackles, especially
Orlando Pace.
I was about to say Orlando Pace with the Rams. And Trent Williams deserves to be in the conversation given the longevity he's had too.
That's wild is it wasn't until he was older.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's when he really started to come into
his first few years with Washington. It's not like he was a dominant force, but when he got to his last few years and then got to San Francisco, oh wow.
That's Jonathan Ogden, folks.
Yeah, Jonathan Ogden
look at this monster.
6'9", 345 pounds.
Look at this monster.
That is
could move.
That is a mammoth of a man.
Big Joe with his new best friend Shaq last week. God, that's a 6.
Oh, Big Joe, he met Shaq?
He met Shaq. He hosted an event with Shaq.
Did Jonathan Ogden wear a size 22 shoe?
Yeah. No, he's not as big as Shaq by any means.
No, because Shaq, you talking about 7 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just 3 more inches.
Yeah.
And Shaq was, hold on. Shaq was what? 3? Shaq, they said when Shaq got to Miami, that joker was almost 400 pounds.
Oh,
Pat Riley challenged him, and that's when he got right. Yeah,
I mean, it's like you look at the NBA and you watch them on the floor, and they don't look that big, but like the guards are taller than most of the tallest like wide receivers in the NFL.
But see, the thing about the basketball players, I'm not gonna call them frail, but like they're very, very lean. You know what I mean? They're very lean. Because you have like Wemby's 7'4", 212 pounds or something crazy like that.
Something.
It's
ridiculous.
No wonder Mitchell Robinson was busting him up like that. You know what I mean? But hey, listen, can't take away from the talent.
No. 615-737-1025. TD, great having you in. Enjoy your weekend, and we will be back on our regularly scheduled programming next week on Thursday.
Let's go.
615-737-1025. We've got one more hour on the program. Parker and I will take you the rest of the way here on Next Man Up, 1025 The Game. Final hour on this Friday. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Parker Kelley with you, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Big thanks to Turron Davenport for joining us for the first 2 hours today. Only fitting, Parker, that we end this week with just you and me, wrapping up what's been a strange week with no Connor, no Nick, but we'll get back to our regular schedule next week.
9 hours of just you and I, 3 full shows. Might as well, right? Might as well.
It's flown by. Quickly, we're going to get back into the NFL here in a second, but I just saw this quote from Julian Lewis of Colorado from Big 12 Media Days. Did you see this, Parker?
Yes.
That they basically,
it was really bad.
They weren't scouting defenses.
It was really bad.
I mean, I said it earlier this week when we were talking about Big 12 and Colorado. Like, how long is the Deion Sanders experiment going to go on? I know it helps recruiting, right? People want to play for Deion Sanders, but is it helping your program to have him be your head coach? They went 3-9 last year. They lost a lot of talent in the portal this year, including 5-star Jordan Seaton at tackle. Like, I get it. It's going to get eyes. You're probably still going to sell more tickets, and the grass isn't always greener, right? If you fire Deion Sanders, what's to say you don't go back to just being old Colorado football for the rest of eternity? But man, like, that's a really strong indictment of the coaching staff that they were not scouting defenses. I believe the word they said was we were freeballing it against defenses last year, which is just crazy.
I don't know, man, because Deion Sanders also hasn't been too healthy. Like, you know, he has had his cancer diagnosis. He's had a bunch of different things going on. But at the same time, like, they're just too reliant on the portal. And they had that one year where they went 9-4, made it to the Alamo Bowl, lost to BYU. But outside of that, it's just been rough.
Yes.
7 wins. If you're looking at that 23 season, 25.
Yeah,
combined.
Right. Then when they had Shedeur and Travis Hunter and things were rolling, that was a good team with Jimmy Horn and Will Shepard, the former Commodore, was on that team. Like, they had a good team back in 2024. But this is a big year, I think, for the Buffs, who were picked 15th in the Big 12 heading into this year. But anyway, back into the NFL here. Quarterback comes out next week. I wanted to get TD's thoughts. We never got to it, but I am excited to see Cam Ward on quarterback. It's 4 days away, and will give us something to get into next week with Cam Ward, Jaden Daniels, Baker Mayfield, and Joe Flacco. The Baker Mayfield side of this, I think, is going to fly under the radar because you've got 2 young guys, up-and-comers, Jaden Daniels going through the struggles of not living up to expectations after reaching the NFC Championship game last year. Joe Flacco, of course, being at his age, being traded midseason. Like, there's a whole lot that went into that. Cam Ward being the number 1 pick. But Baker Mayfield last year, week 6 or 7, he was in MVP conversations. Like, he got off to a very, very good start, and then the wheels fell off. Getting the behind-the-scenes look at how that all happened and kind of his mindset during that, I think that's going to be an underrated portion of the show, but I'm excited to see it.
He was the MVP through 7 weeks of the season because he led the league at passing up until that point. Then things kind of fell off a cliff. The Bucs looked like they might be Super Bowl contenders, and then they just went on that losing streak, and the Panthers ended up winning the division in a really weird tiebreaker. I'm interested to see from Baker the personality difference between when he was in college to where he is now, because he seems like he's matured a lot since then. I know he has a family. I think he has a kid, maybe 2.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how different he is now compared to what he was at Oklahoma.
Yes, I agree with that. I mean, Baker Mayfield, I think, is a strong example of a guy maturing. And you see that when he speaks. He's not the same guy who planted the flag in the middle of the field when he was at Oklahoma. But obviously, last year's tough. You look back through the first 8 games of the season, he had 13 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions. And actually go through 16 touchdowns and 2 interceptions after they lost to New England. And Tampa Bay was 6-3 at that point. In the final 8 games of the season, they went 2-6, and he had interceptions in 7 of the 8 games. He had a total of 9 interceptions and only 10 touchdowns. So he went from 16 touchdowns to 2 interceptions and a 6-3 record to 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and a 2-6 record. That switch in November, I want to see what happened there, and I think that's going to be one of the more intriguing parts of quarterback this year.
When was that Bills game they played in Buffalo?
That was...
I remember watching that game thinking it was going to be one of the best games of the year. And
that was the first game where it kind of went downhill.
Yeah,
they lost
I feel like that was
one.
the hinge point of their season.
So he went 16 of 28, 173 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick in a loss. The next week against the Rams, 9 of 19 for 41 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Eek.
Yeah, things fell off a cliff, and then the Saints started to get hot, and then the Panthers started to get hot, and I don't think there was a team in that division this year with a winning record. I think, Carolina was 8-9 and won the division.
Right. Well, they lost 4 straight from week 13 through week 16, or excuse me, week 14 through week 17. Then they beat Carolina in the final game of the season, but because Atlanta won, they ended up having to the Panthers won the division. So it was kind of a mess of a year down the stretch for Baker Mayfield. So that'll be fun. The Cam Ward aspect obviously is what we're all intrigued about. It was a tough rookie season. The early parts I think are going to be the most interesting of how does he deal with Brian Callahan's firing, Bo Hardegree taking over as a play caller. Like that's going to be the interesting part of like what went on behind the scenes for him in those moments.
Yeah, because I'm sure it wasn't easy. Anytime you get a coordinator change, a head coaching change, and for Cam Ward, that's the first time it's happened in a long time for him. So I'm just excited for the national audience to see his personality and how he carries himself on a day-to-day basis.
4312 asked, do they release it all at once or one episode a week? I think it's
all at once.
Is it all at once?
I think it's all at once.
You might be right. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to look into that. We had some Cam Ward questions, and we didn't get to it with TD. Ed on the text line asks, is it fair to boom or bust on Cam Ward? Is there an acceptable in-between with a quarterback drafted first overall? And similar vein, 7410 asks, if Cam Ward's ceiling is what Baker Mayfield is today as a quarterback, would you take it? I think you have to. My gut says Cam won't get there.
If his ceiling is what Baker Mayfield is?
Today, yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not okay with that personally.
I think I'm with Ed on when you take a quarterback first overall, it's boom or bust. He is either the guy who can get you there or he's not. So if he becomes Baker Mayfield, like there's a reason the Browns moved on from Baker Mayfield because they realized he wasn't going, and Browns don't have high expectations, right? That is a franchise that hasn't even sniffed getting to a Super Bowl since they became an expansion franchise.
Yeah. Since the Jim Brown days.
Right. I mean, like the old Browns who became the Ravens, of course, had their moments, but the new Browns really haven't. And they still moved on from Baker Mayfield. And I know he's asking if it's what he is today, which Baker Mayfield has revitalized his career. But I don't think in between is acceptable for a first overall pick quarterback. It's boom or bust. You are either the quarterback that the team has been searching for or not. Like, I think that would be a disappointment if he's just the 15th or 16th best quarterback in the league, right? Yeah, I mean, that you're looking for a franchise quarterback, and I don't think Baker Mayfield is a franchise quarterback.
I think you need to be for Cam Ward to be seen as a boom. I feel like eventually he has to be a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's why you pick a guy
anything outside of that.
Yeah, I agree.
You didn't get your value.
9064 says Baker is a top 5 passer in the league. What are you talking about? That is just not true. He says he was the MVP favorite midway through last season. We just recognized.
Okay, for half a season,
right?
He's been good in Tampa Bay. He's been fine.
He's had good seasons, but if you're asking if you picked a quarterback number 1 overall and you said he's going to be Baker Mayfield, I don't think anyone would say.
I'm not okay with that.
No one would say, yeah, that's great. Like it would be similar to, I mean, Kyler Murray has had his moments too. He had the Cardinals rolling in the COVID season for a while. I wouldn't say that I'd be okay with Cam Ward being Kyler Murray either. Like, I think you search for better than that. I don't know what he's going to be. It's too early to make any kind of judgment on Cam Ward as whether he's going to be the guy or not. I wouldn't take Baker Mayfield. The Browns took him number 1 overall and they moved on. So I don't see why that would be any different. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. If you want to text or call, our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Jake Lyman, Parker Kelley with you. We'll keep talking Titans on the other side. We'll do some Monday headlines at 11:30 here on Next Man Up, 102.5 The Game. Next Man Up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Parker Kelley with you. We have found Baker Mayfield's biggest fan on the text line.
Apparently, he resides here in Nashville.
Yeah, he says Kyler Murray isn't even in the same planet as Baker. Well, Kyler on a 17-game averages more yards, higher completion percentage, less turnovers, less sacks. Like I think Baker is playing better right now than Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I would take Baker right now.
But like in terms of what they are as a player, it's pretty similar.
But let's wait 1 year after Kevin O'Connell works with Kyler Murray and he starts a full year in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, I am a big Kevin O'Connell fan.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get Kyler Murray right. I really do.
I mean, I think Kyler Murray with a better coach is going to have an opportunity. But yeah, again, it's just like if you're taking a player first overall to be your quarterback, you're not taking him thinking, hey, he should be he needs to be Baker Mayfield or he needs to be Kyler Murray. And he doesn't necessarily have to be Patrick Mahomes either, but you're thinking top 5 to 10 quarterback. And, I don't know. I don't know if you could even project Cam Ward to be that right now, but it's so early. And again, I just don't think Baker Mayfield is something to aspire to.
I didn't realize we'd make the text line so upset.
Yeah. I mean,
listen, Baker's done awesome, like with Tampa. Like congrats to him for turning his career around.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But he's not a top 5 passer in the NFL. That's just absurd.
He's a top 5 passer in the NFL is crazy. 7410 asks, my question is in the context of what we saw in year 1, not relative to being the number 1 pick. Cam could still be a bust relative to where he was picked and still be a quality quarterback. I was just asking if what you saw in year 1, would you take Cam becoming Baker or keep hoping, praying he's better than that? I think you keep hoping he's better than that. Right. Like, I mean, he can still be a good quarterback, even if he's not what you drafted him to be. But usually guys who do that, as we've seen with Baker Mayfield, as we saw with Ryan Tannehill, like if you're going to go and revitalize your career after not being the franchise guy somewhere, it happens somewhere else, right? Like, I don't think if Cam Ward is just an average quarterback, average to below average, which that's what Baker Mayfield was by the time he was done in Cleveland. I think you move on, and if he turns out to be good somewhere else, great. But yeah, you're not aspiring to be Baker Mayfield. Jeff asks, question, can you guys see Will Levis as a young, raw, unrefined version of Baker Mayfield? Sure. Like they've got the same kind of mentality, but like different types of players.
I mean, Baker will try to run through your face.
Right.
I guess like, Will Levis will try to do the same thing.
They've got the same kind of persona.
But I view Baker as more of a gunslinger than Will Levis. Will Levis has a big arm, but I don't know. Baker's just a gunslinger, man.
But I do understand what Jeff is saying. It's like Will Levis, I think if he's going to, he could go somewhere else and he could have some, I think he could have some success similar to what we've seen from Baker Mayfield. 9064 continuing to text in about Baker says, I still love how he can be at least top 10 under Todd Bowles, yet we're not going to blame the Browns for Baker's time there. The Browns deserve a whole lot of blame, right? But if you cannot come in here and say that he is a top 5 passer in the league and then try and defend that by saying it's like, oh, he failed because of the Browns. Like, sure, he's a good quarterback. No one's saying Baker Mayfield is not a good quarterback. He is a good quarterback, and he's going to have your team right around the playoffs every year. That's not what you draft a guy number 1 overall to be. You don't draft Cam Ward to be a guy who has you on the edge of the playoffs every year. You draft a guy number 1 overall to try and go win you a Super Bowl. Now, I would say odds are low that happens. Most quarterbacks that get taken early do end up not living up to expectations.
When was the last quarterback drafted first overall that actually lived up to expectation? Peyton Manning?
Burrow. Well, it's early.
Yeah. Joe Burrow, I would accept Joe Burrow.
Burrow went to a Super Bowl. It's like,
and like they consistently have, when he's healthy, have one of the best offenses in the NFL. The defense is just what's holding him back.
I mean, and I guess you can look and say Jared Goff took the Rams to the Super Bowl, but like, but I think you also have to look at that and say is
Jared Goff a top 10 quarterback in the league?
No, they looked very different doing that. Joe Burrow looked like a top 5 quarterback in the league taking his team to the Super Bowl.
Because if you're drafted first overall at quarterback and you're a top 10 quarterback, I'd say you live up to expectations.
Let's go through this. Who quarterbacks taken first overall who have lived up to expectations? Bryce Young, no. We're going to go Cam Ward and Fernando Mendoza. It's too early. Bryce Young, as of now, no. Trevor Lawrence, no. He was viewed as a generational quarterback. No.
Which I never saw. I like Trevor Lawrence, but I never saw generational.
We're not including Caleb Williams in this either.
Yeah, too young.
Joe Burrow, I think as of now, he's on track too.
Yes.
But you've got Jameis Winston, no. Andrew Luck is the interesting one because I think it's no, but
he didn't have a long enough career.
Right.
Unfortunately.
The injuries were tough.
You know?
Cam Newton, MVP, went to a Super Bowl. I'd say yes.
Okay.
I'm say yes.
Because when he was in the league, he was definitely top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Bradford, no. Matthew Stafford.
Yes. 100%.
I'd say
Yes.
Now
100%,
looking back, like he's a Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Yes.
Even though it didn't happen with the Lions, yes. Jamarcus Russell, no. Alex Smith, no. Eli Manning, yes. Carson Palmer, no. David Carr, no. Michael Vick, no. So it's like 3 or 4 guys taken first overall who have lived up to the hype after being taken number 1 overall. So Cam Ward, you're hoping he's the exception to the rule. But again, it's just like Baker Mayfield, good quarterback right now. That's not what you're hoping Cam Ward becomes if you're a Titans fan.
Yeah, he's got to be a top 10 guy. And to be honest, when we listened to that Carr podcast and they were talking about, you look at the arm talent, it's top 5. It might be best in the NFL.
Yeah.
That got me a little unreasonably too excited for Cam Ward. Now, the potential is there, but we got to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all wait and see. And that's, we just went going through that list. It is crazy to look at how many of those number 1 quarterbacks. Now, not all of them are busts, like maybe busts for their team, but not busts in terms of the player that they became. They turned out to be decent NFL players. But you're not, when you pick a guy number 1 overall, you're not looking for a decent NFL quarterback. You're looking for a superstar. You're looking for someone who can take your team to win a Super Bowl. And so, again, that's what you're hoping for with Cam Ward, even if the odds are low based on what the list we just went through.
Yeah. So what's the hit rate on these guys?
Not good.
So we said maybe 4
that
have been drafted first overall at quarterback since what? 2000?
Since Manning.
Since
98.
Manning.
So Burrow, Newton, Stafford, Eli were the 4 that I think we said are like, yeah, those guys.
4 since 98.
Yeah. And most first overall picks have been quarterbacks. So yeah. The odds are not in your favor, right? And that's with taking a quarterback anywhere, obviously. That's why quarterbacks are so valuable, because it's very difficult to find them. And 7410, here we go. This is a great way to finish this conversation. Sounds like you guys would rather Cam either be elite or flushed out after year 3. Yes. Let me know what you are as early as possible.
That would be ideal.
You do not want to get stuck in a Tua Tagovailoa situation.
I wouldn't even want to be put in a Jordan Love situation, but that's a different situation because he sat for 3 years before he started.
Yeah, Jordan Love, I think the jury's still out for me on him. Like, I'm not ready to say that's a bad contract yet. But like,
Tua, I think
they gave Tua the contract and then cut him 2 years later?
Right.
That's what you don't want, is to be stuck in the mushy middle.
Trevor Lawrence was the same way. He got that extension.
Yeah.
But he was top 5 in MVP voting this year, which
they
is
went 13
still kind of crazy to me.
So like with Trevor Lawrence, again, I'll say I don't feel great about him, but I think the jury's still out.
But do you feel like the Jags were ever Super Bowl contenders at any point last season?
No. 7410. I want Cam to let everybody know what he is as soon as possible, because that gives you another shot at the dartboard, and you can keep going and trying to find your quarterback. I would rather a Cam Ward be a total bust than be a guy that you just keep holding out hope for that he's going to figure it out. Because most of the time,
I just want to know.
You don't want to be caught in the murky, the mushy middle, like we talk about with the Predators. Like, I would rather Cam Ward be a total bust than just be this guy then be Marcus Mariota, right? Where I know they didn't give him a second contract, but you just kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And like, he's going to figure it out. We've seen it. He's going to figure, and it never happened. I would rather Cam Ward just blow up this year or next year than keep holding out hope and waste your time when you could be going out trying to find your franchise quarterback.
Yeah, because even if he doesn't, or CJ Stroud situation, right? Because you can't give CJ Stroud another contract right now.
Not right now. And so And I'm not saying Cam Ward's going to be a bust. I'm not saying Cam Ward's going to be elite, but I'd prefer either end of the spectrum than something just stuck in the middle.
The good thing is, even if Cam Ward doesn't make a huge jump this year, he still has another year. And I feel like by the end of year 3, we got to know, like, hey, which way is this going?
Right. And I think that's what teams would say too, is I'd rather know and not have to make these tough decisions of whether to move on or whether to give him the contract and hope he figures it out. Like, it be a bust or be elite. If you're one of those, it makes the decision easy and you can move on one way or the other. Either he's your franchise quarterback, or you can say, all right, you know what? It was a failure. Maybe somebody loses their job, but at least you can move forward with the certainty that you don't have your quarterback.
There may even be a year 4 in there too, because you can pick up the 5th-year option, but I would like to know, that is the benefit to starting him right out of the gate.
Yes.
Versus sitting him.
Yep.
Now, I did like how the Chiefs did it with Mahomes, where they set him 1 year behind Alex Smith, then he started playing.
Yeah.
Jordan Love sitting for 3 years is tough when you're a first-round quarterback. But Jordan Love was taken, what? Was it 18th or 18th,
it was
20th?
somewhere in there,
Yeah.
like mid
first round, mid to late first round.
Yeah. Daniel on the text line says Carson Palmer had a very solid career. Yes, he did. But with what Carson Palmer was expected to be coming out of college, I would say he didn't live up to expectations. 615-737-1025. Fun conversation there. Again, quarterback comes out on Tuesday. So we will get our behind the scenes look at Cam Ward's rookie season, thanks to Netflix. 615-737-1025. Parker and I will try and make some predictions coming up next. Got 30 minutes left on the show here on Next Man Up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game, Jake Lyman, Parker Kelley. You are right. TD would have liked this one.
TD would definitely have loved this
Maybe
one.
he's listening on his way down to Atlanta.
I mean, it's a 4-hour drive.
Yeah,
He's got time.
Vibing in the car. We've got 30 minutes left in this show. Chase and Big Joe coming up after us. Dr. Crane and Connor Newt have done a nice job filling in for them, coming up at noon. We weren't going to do Monday headlines initially because I thought we might have TD for the full show earlier in the week. But since it's just you and me, Parker, let's make some predictions. What's going to happen this weekend? What are you leading us off with? Do you have anything in mind?
Ooh, okay. You know what? I'm actually really excited for this game tomorrow. We get a doubleheader in the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know how much attention I'll pay to Spain, Belgium today. I might have it on in the background. I definitely will not watch Switzerland and Argentina tomorrow, but I will be watching England and Norway. And I'm stealing yours, Jake. I know. Norway. Give me Norway to beat England. Fun fact, I looked this up during one of the breaks. There have only been 8 countries ever to win the World Cup.
Yep.
And England, Spain, Argentina, and France make up half of that field. So if Norway wins, they have the chance to do something they've never done before.
Yes, and it is now official that the streak of South American or European countries winning every World Cup will continue. 5 European countries left. Argentina is the only South American one. I was actually going to do a Norway-England one. I was going to say Norway wins on PKs, but I will.
That would be the best case scenario.
That would be so much fun. 4:00 tomorrow. I am going to go to the late game tomorrow night. These are our bold predictions, so I guess I got to go with it. Switzerland upsets Messi and Argentina and goes to the semis.
Who was close? Well, Egypt almost beat Argentina. It could happen,
and so
right?
did Cape Verde almost got it to penalty kicks.
And Switzerland beat Egypt. So.
Yes, they did. Switzerland's on a heater right now. Give me the Swiss to beat Argentina and end Lionel Messi's World Cup career. Game later today is Spain and Belgium. I don't really have a thought on that. I'm going to be rooting for Spain, I think. But
Spain by 50.
Spain by 50. Are we yeah, we talked about this yesterday.
We're just hate watching
Belgium. All right, I'm going to go to the MLB for my second one. Do I just go Homer here? Because
I might go Homer.
They're playing really well.
Is there anything else on besides baseball and World Cup?
I think that the Scottish Open is going on. Robbie was watching
Scotty Scheffler's is going to miss the cut for the first time in 4 years.
Wow. I haven't really been keeping up. Oh, we got Wimbledon going on. Do you have any Wimbledon predictions?
I don't have a single okay, so it's Sinner and Djokovic. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right.
Oh, yeah. That's the semi.
They're playing right now.
Zverev, is that how to pronounce that?
Yeah,
I was looking at that. Right. I was like, I don't have any idea. So yes, we'll have the championship coming up on Sunday. I guess I'll go Sinner wins it.
I would like to lean the winner of this one wins it all. I don't know much about the other guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
But Sinner is the 1 seed from
the women's final
Italy?
is all Czech Republic. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the names, but it's the 9 and the 10 seed, both from the Czech Republic tomorrow. So
Reese Davis is apparently doing studio coverage for Wimbledon.
Yeah, they cross over there. Like Chris Fowler used to do a ton of tennis coverage. You know who's been doing the studio coverage from Wimbledon is Malika Andrews.
Yeah, I saw her doing it too.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess you're paying these people all this money. Malika obviously anchors all the NBA coverage.
They've been like splitting time.
Reese Davis does all the college football, college basketball. When you're out of season, I guess you don't pay them to do nothing.
You need something to do, right?
You might as well use them. I will do it. Tigers win the series against the Phillies and head into the All-Star break within 3 games of the division. That's my prediction. There are actually 3 games of a playoff spot. They are 3.5 games out of the wild card, 4.5 out of the division. So I'm going to say they take 2 of 3 at home against the Phillies this weekend.
I'm going to go Homer too.
Okay.
The Cubs win the series versus the Orioles today.
Okay. There you go.
Because they start one with the Reds tomorrow, I believe.
No,
that's tonight.
That's tonight. Yeah.
You know what? Christian Skelton's already given up on the Reds. Give me the Cubs to sweep the Reds.
All right, man. Clean sweep
In
on the road in
too.
Cincy.
In Cincy.
All right, I love it. Those are our Monday headlines. Quickly, we're gonna talk LeBron. Sorry, Dustin and 4312. I know you'll be upset. We're gonna talk LeBron to end the show. But what would we be this week if we don't talk about the top 10 position list that came out? It was tight ends today. No surprise. Top 2. Could you guess who they are, Parker?
Brock Bowers.
Yep, Brock Bowers is 1.
Oh gosh, why am I blanking on 2? Trey McBride, definitely. Yeah.
Surprising here. Guess number 3 is George Kittle. I don't know if I would have thought that he would be number 3, but I mean, he's still playing.
He was injured a little bit last year.
Right. When he's healthy, he's really good.
I mean, I have him in fantasy football, so I pay a lot of close attention to George Kittle. There are a lot of games where he'll just go off for 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, it happens. But it's when he's healthy.
Sam Laporta 4, Tyler Warren 5. I know he got off to a great start to the season. He had 817 receiving yards last year. He's a great run blocker. When Daniel Jones got hurt, his production went down. I was a little surprised to see him as high as 5. Tucker Kraft is 6. Colston Loveland 7. So you got 2 second-year players in the top 7.
Big Colston Loveland fan.
I honestly thought Loveland might be higher on this list, above Tucker Kraft at the very least.
His highest ranking was 3.
Yeah, somebody had him. So crazy. Probably they had Bowers, McBride, Loveland.
See, I might have had Tucker Kraft ahead of Warren.
That is true. Warren being 5, I think, is a little bit.
You can have him at 6.
Yeah, once you get outside of the top 2, I think they're all kind of interchangeable. Like Kittle, Laporta, Warren, Kraft, Loveland. I feel like that group of 5 could all kind of be flipped on the order. Pitts at 8. Mark Andrews still at 9. He only had 400 receiving yards last year.
Yeah.
And he was
no likely this year.
He was
either.
mostly healthy, right?
Mostly.
He had the fumble or the drop in the Bills playoff game the year before that I feel like he just never recovered from. And then, of course, he, has to be on the list.
Mr. Travis Swift himself.
Yeah, Mr. Travis Swift. We didn't talk about that wedding at all this week. I feel like we might be the only radio show in the world that didn't touch on the Swift-Kelsey wedding.
Will Compton sure talked about it.
Yeah. I
guess their hands been forced.
I get it. The Fox referee officiating, what's his name? The expert they have on all their broadcasts.
Dean Blandino?
Dean Blandino apparently was at the wedding.
Vrabel was there at the wedding?
Yeah, I saw that. It was a who's who. But no
Pat McAfee was there at the wedding?
Yeah. No Taylor Lewan.
Could you imagine that guest list?
Crazy. All the pictures coming out, it was like, man, it's literally everybody from music, everybody from sports, all in the same place. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We've got one more segment coming up. We will finish up the show on this Friday. Right after this, Jake Lyman, Parker Kelley, next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Parker Kelley with you. Finishing up the show on this Friday. Hope everybody's having a great start to their day. Chasing Big Joe with Nick Frazier and Connor Newt coming up after us. Quickly before I want to talk LeBron, because I think there's a decent chance that he has a new team by the time we come on air on Monday. Who knows? But it's kind of been dragged out long enough at this point. I think.
The decision part 4.
The final decision. Le decision.
Well, didn't he make like some big deal like 2 summers ago or last summer about a decision? It was just that he was partnering with some.
Yeah. He
was it like whiskey
he faked
or
everybody
wine
out.
or...
Yeah, something like that. Before we do that, though, we were going through the number 1 picks, and I do want to clear this up. We were going through the number 1 picks at quarterback and whether they lived up to expectations or not. We've gotten a couple texts about Michael Vick because we said no. And no one loves Michael Vick more than me. Virginia Tech guy, like electric player, got the Hokies to a national championship game. If he hadn't, if it wasn't for the dogfighting incident, like who knows what he would have become. And I think there's a good chance that we would have said yes. But for the Falcons, he did not live up to what they hoped he would become because, he was in jail. So that was the question. Electric player, could have been great.
Great highlight reel.
And he had some really good seasons with the Eagles too. But I don't know if you can say he lived up to expectations. We had others texting in about Andrew Luck. That one I'm so iffy on because it's not like he wasn't the player that everyone thought he was going to be.
I would say if you said yes,
Luck is the one that I'm so on the fence with because it's like, yes, you drafted him to be the player that he became. Like he was that good. The injuries and the early retirement kind of changed the way you look at him though. So those are 2 that I think are in gray area for other circumstances other than just their play on the field. But anyway, most first overall picks at quarterback have not panned out. The point still stands. But with LeBron, where is he going to end up? It seemed like it was Golden State when the announcement that he was leaving the Lakers first came out. That seemed to have cooled, but now it's heating back up. I guess Steph Curry made a pitch to him. He was out golfing with Draymond over the last few days. So I have no idea where he's going to go. Apparently teams are sending him voice memos through Rich Paul to try and recruit him to come to their team. LeBron just always is doing the most with this stuff. Can you just make a decision? It's for like 1 year. Maybe 2.
But then there wouldn't be as much drama and entertainment.
Right. That's what he's looking for here.
Do you think LeBron likes the attention more than Aaron Rodgers?
Ooh, it's a good question. Probably.
That's a tough one.
Like I view them kind of similarly of like they won't say they want to be in the spotlight, but they always find a way to put themselves in the spotlight. I think he's going to go back to Cleveland. I flipped up. I thought it was Golden State. That's where all the smoke was going. I think he's going back to Cleveland. I think he's going to be a Cavalier. It makes too much sense for him to finish his career there. It's a good team. The Cavaliers, they were the 2 seed in the East this year.
He would have a better chance of winning a ring there than Golden State.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Because Golden State's old now.
Well, and they're in the West.
Yeah.
Like you have to get through San Antonio and okay. Cleveland was the 4 seed, actually, I want to say. I'd have to look back and see. Yeah, I think they were the 4 seed. But they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. LeBron, not that he's like this missing piece anymore, still a very good player, but it's not like I don't think he makes them a championship team. But you're right. If you're looking for the easiest path to get back to a finals and have a shot at a title, the East is definitely the better place to go than going to the West and having to deal with Wemby and Shea. And, if Jokic can get more help around him in Denver, like the West is just loaded. The East, yeah, you got the Knicks in there. Celtics now post Jaylen Brown. What are the Sixers going to look like? But those teams aren't as dangerous.
Yeah, it's the Knicks because they returned the same team pretty much besides Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah.
They have, Cleveland. I guess the 76ers would be a good team.
Yeah, 76ers, it's all just can Joel Embiid stay healthy? Like, he hasn't played more than 40 games in 3 years.
Dude. Yeah, definitely a lot easier path than the East. See, if I was LeBron, I would consider going to New York.
Yeah.
For 1 year,
if he's going to take
maybe 2,
if he's going to take the vet minimum, right? They just won a championship. You take the vet minimum,
same team,
play in Madison Square Garden. That would make a lot of sense. A team that hasn't been brought up a ton. I think there's been whispers that they'd be interested. How about the Wizards? Like, I think the Wizards would be fun. You get to play
with AD there.
Yeah, he's still AD's there. Trae Young's there. You got AJ DeBonsa, who made his summer league debut last night.
Talk about a turnaround for the Wizards.
Yeah, they've got Sarr, who was the second pick a few years ago. So, like, I honestly, I wouldn't hate it to go to Washington. I just don't know if that's a place he would want to live. 4312, who is him and Dustin battle for being the biggest LeBron hater on our text line, says, hopefully he says he's just going to a pro nursing home team. He's got to retire soon.
He's got 2 years left. I think he's got 2 good years.
I think he's got minimum 1, right? Like he said he's going to play, so he's playing 1 more year.
If he wins a ring after this year, I think he's done.
I think, if he wins another ring, I think he wants to get out. Yeah. But I don't think he's ever going to win another ring. Like, unless he goes to like the Spurs or the Thunder or something like that and just signs a vet minimum and pulls a total KD and is just like, I am actively ring chasing and I don't care. I don't care who knows it. Like, sure, maybe he could win a ring there. But based on the teams we're talking about, Cleveland, Golden State, Philadelphia, I don't see it. But yes, I agree with you. If he won a championship this year, he's probably done. I think no matter what, you're right. He probably is done after 2 years. Like, I could not see him playing into the 2028 season. That'd be ridiculous. He'd be 25 years in the league at that point?
Yeah, because this is year 24 for him. He's 40.
Crazy.
Yeah, 24.
Oh. I mean,
over half of his life in the NBA.
Credit to him for being able to keep his body, because we've talked about players like we were talking about Justin Verlander yesterday, and he's finally retiring after such a historic career, pretty much close to the same 20 plus years in the MLB, and his body just can't handle it anymore. LeBron, say what you want about load management and some of it, but he has never had like serious injury concerns during his career. 4312 trying to stake his claim as the biggest LeBron hater, saying he has a personal beef with LeBrick. Dustin from Hopkinsville says, you know what sucks? When he retires, we have to hear his mouth. Please pair him with Shaq or Barkley. Just smack him mid-wine. And then Mo says, I feel like LeBron is going to play until his other son gets to the league. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there.
Bryce is better than Bronny.
Well, Bryce is NBA eligible right now.
Yeah,
and
he redshirted at Arizona last year.
They rushed Bronny into the league because they thought that was what LeBron wanted, was like, oh, he wants to play with Bronny for a year and then he'll retire. Well, now we're 3 years into that. If Bryce comes out after this year, then yeah, maybe LeBron plays 1 more year to play with both his sons and then he hangs it up. But I'm getting tired of it. It's been over a week now since he announced that he wasn't going to be with the Lakers. You are not the LeBron James of 2011, 2010 when he made the first decision and went to Miami, where it was the biggest story in the world. Like, let's just make a decision and we can all move on.
I would like to know. I'd like to know. We'd lead off the show with it. That's for sure.
Yeah, we will see. Maybe over the weekend, we will find out where LeBron James is headed. Going to be a fun weekend. World Cup quarterfinals continue. Spain and Belgium coming up in a few hours. So disappointing that we're not getting ready for Spain and the United States today. Like, that would have been such a fun show.
You're right
for that game.
You're right, but I had zero confidence that the U.S. was going to beat Spain. Zero.
No, me neither, but it would have just been fun gearing up for this one with a spot to go as far as you've gone in the tournament since 1930. Like, that would have been on the line today, and just didn't play well enough on Monday. Spain, Belgium today, Norway, England, and Argentina, Switzerland tomorrow. That does it for us on the program. Appreciate everybody tuned in. Appreciate Turron Davenport for joining us for the first couple hours. We're back Monday at 9 a.m. Chasing Big Joe with Nick Frazier and Connor Newt coming up next. You're on 102.5.